And more importantly, what happened to NIW during the 2008
Yeah, so let's look at that last crisis,
crisis.
right? So the stock market corrects 46%, not a good day if you're in securities. Real estate market went into some real problems, right? We recorded a 0 return year. So we had a client after client saying, this is the best performing asset I've got. But here's also what's important. If you lose 40% of your portfolio, the market has to come back 60% for you to break even. Within the IUL structure, which we're using for Kai-Zen, you got 0, and the moment the market rebounded, you started to be in positive territory again. So we had some clients getting huge recoveries on a 0 return. So they never had a loss outside of insurance costs, policy costs, all those good things. So I tend to look at policy costs as kind of like your management fee, for want of a better phrase. You got 0 loss followed by a rebound capture. Now let's look at the banking side. Banks froze, right? They couldn't do anything. But like we said on the first podcast, this is essentially a cash position. So we did as many new loans in the middle of that banking crisis as we had done the previous year. So I'm a cynic, right? So I either say we really had either a really crappy year the year before, or we were essentially unaffected by the crisis. And
what that means is that every single client that we had, we funded their policy renewals that year, and we wrote as much new business for new clients wanting to finance in 2008 as we did.
Here's an important point
year.
about what you, if I may, important point about what you said, right? In traditional premium finance, we had some clients that lost their net worth. So our structure's fine, but they lost their net worth, and the bank had to shut down the structure because the client couldn't post the collateral. That doesn't apply in Kai-Zen. There is no outside collateral requirement. So if the client loses all their net worth, the bank doesn't care because they're not underwriting the client financially. They're underwriting the carrier.
But in terms of, we didn't have Kai-Zen back then.
We didn't, but we didn't have a bad year either.
But in terms of our high net worth clients, we were still funding their policies, business as usual.
No, it was good. I mean,
we wouldn't have even known there was a financial crisis if there wasn't margin calls.
Yeah, I wouldn't have said that in January. I was thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen to that whole? I mean, look, at one point the banking industry was about to collapse.
Well, that was the part
scary,
we might have
right?
noticed, yeah.
But we never would have anticipated the year was as good as it turned out to be, as far as we're concerned. But again, I want to stress the point because people keep saying he mentions in his email, I've done this financing thing in the past. It didn't work out well. Now, I can't comment on that design other than I know it was a traditional design. There's a lot of bad designs and good designs. Here's what we do know, is the banking crisis wouldn't have affected a Kai-Zen plan design. In fact, you would have liked it because you would have known if the market corrects massively, a rebound follows, whether it's the year after or sometime after that, you benefit. It's exactly the kind of conditions that Kai-Zen's designed to be the safety net for. We're not trying to say get rid of all your stocks. We're not trying to say get rid of all the other investments. What we are trying to say is this is a really good safety net. And bond portfolios are not. In a rising interest rate environment, bond portfolios suck. And generally people don't like going in them because inflation adjusted, it's a negative rate of return, right? So if they just would get in their head, if I could beef up my safety net, I have so much more flexibility with my other investments. But they keep going back to, well, I've got to compare against the other investment. No, we're not playing that game.
That's correct.